Some people say this town rains more than any other city in any state. Almost every other week, there's a day or two of rain. What's not to like about it? Cool weather, and a beautiful consistent breeze. On top of that, I have been living quite comfortably for several months. That is until now. The rain had come in quite quickly this time around. As usual, I laid down at 10 o'clock p.m. to wake up in time for work and stop for a cup of coffee on the way. Tonight, the rain was gentle and easy to listen to, along with gentle thunder in the distance. I fell asleep with my blankets halfway down my stomach. I awoke at 2 o'clock a.m. to what sounded like a bang on my window. I jumped and quickly looked over to see nobody there. There seemed to be a smudge on the glass, with drips drizzling down from the condensation. I went back to bed, and then fell back asleep. Tonight I had a hell of a time after work, and came home late after plenty of drinking at the bar with a couple of coworkers of mine. They had to get home quickly, so I took it upon myself to get them home and not have to deal with a tow truck. My driving was a little messy, but nothing too dangerous, besides the rain, of course. I had gotten home around 11:45 p.m. and threw my keys on the bed. I crashed down beside it and fell right to sleep. 2 a.m. I had woken up from a bang on my window again. I woke up quickly, completely startled, and slightly hungover. I looked up at the glass and saw what looked like a palm print, with one finger pressed against it. I got up and peeked through the palm print, and saw what looked like a dark figure standing across the street, in a large puddle of water, holding completely still. I had to go back to sleep. It was way too late for this, and I was way too tired. I went back to bed, and fell back asleep after a while of tossing and turning. It's been raining quite longer than usual. The gutters in the streets have been completely flooded, and the grass on my lawn had been well oversaturated. It has felt humid all day, and I had difficulty falling asleep. About half an hour to 45 minutes later, I went to take a Xanax. Washed it down with a shot of Captain Morgan's Old Spice rum. I fell asleep as relaxed as I could possibly be. The banging on my window woke me up again. This time, there were two fingers pressed against the glass. This shit's getting old, real fast, I thought to myself. I peeked out the window, and in the middle of the street, I saw the same figure. I stared at him for several minutes. He didn't move once. Thunder came rolling in. Then, with a flash of lightning, I realized it was a woman. I went to the living room and I grabbed my phone to call 911. The phone was disconnected due to the heavy downpour. I quickly looked outside, and nobody was there. I went back to my room and looked outside again to see if anyone was there. Nothing. The markings on the window had been covered with more condensation. I laid back down, with the blanket secured tightly around me. It was very cold. I didn't fall back asleep that night. I came home pissed and tired as all hell. I tried telling my coworkers about last night, and the strange things that have been happening the past couple of days. They continued to laugh and mock me, no matter how hard I tried to convince them. I asked a couple of them if I could stay at their house for a night or two, just until the rain clears up, and they told me,
Psh, you'll be fine. You just need to get some sleep.
They think I'm crazy. I took a couple of shots of Captain Morgan, and washed more Xanax down as I desperately tried to relax. With how warm the rain usually is, you forget you even need a heater. I couldn't fall asleep. It was too cold, and all I could think about is what's next. I stayed up, not even wanting to fall asleep, shivering as I breathed out, and I watched my own cold, foggy breath. I couldn't sleep even if I wanted to. Later, at about 1:45 a.m., I started to nod off, walking as I felt the vertigo in my head falling forward. I quickly woke back up and looked around, and saw nothing. I nodded off again, this time startled, as I heard a loud bang against my window. There, I saw a full palm print, with all 5 fingers. My heart was pounding. I didn't want to get up. I knew I had to. After sitting there for a couple of minutes, staring at the glass, I then got up and peeked through the palm in the window and saw nothing there. The room got colder, my body completely frozen in fear. I turned around slowly and saw the shadow of the woman standing in the doorway, completely still. With a crash of thunder and a flash of lightning, I saw her face up close. Icy light blue eyes, sucked up inside pitch-black sockets, missing half her cheek, with the teeth and gums showing. Blood dripping down her face and neck, through her frizzy brown hair. It was dark again. She stood there as lifeless as she looks. Who are you? What do you want with me? She didn't say anything. Then started to come towards me, as if she was floating. I jumped over my bed and darted into the living room and ran outside. I looked behind me as I ran and saw nobody chasing after me. This is unreal. She's dead. How could she even be standing there, let alone floating towards me? I went to the police station several blocks down. I told the officers there what had happened, and they laughed and wanted me to take a breathalyzer test. I wasn't drunk enough to be taken in for being drunk in public. I waited in the lobby for a little while, until they told me I had to go. When I left, it seemed as if clouds were clearing up. There was almost nothing left but what the rain left on the sidewalk and in the gutters. When I got home, my front door was still open. I got inside and locked the door behind me. I checked every room, and she wasn't there anymore. It's finally over. I called out of work, since the sun was about to rise and I hadn't slept the whole night. I had a nice hot shower, changed out of my clothes, and laid in bed completely exhausted. A few days later, and still nothing. I can't stop thinking about it, but I knew that everything was going to be okay. It had drizzled a few times, but nothing major. I had decided to move out as soon as I had enough money saved to get everything out, which isn't much at all. I had slept comfortably for almost a whole week, until I woke up to a loud bang on the window again. I quickly looked up and saw the handprint. I don't like the rain anymore.